Threat modeling and building a SOC more generally is a humbling topic. There are four mistakes that people commonly make when implementing a SOC. When first implementing threat monitoring, we want to follow three general guidelines. One sysadmin and one security tester should be enough to get you started. Hi, this is Carsten from Hacking Matters, where each week we explore the opportunities in cybersecurity. Today we discuss the first steps in getting security operations or threat monitoring underway. This is an advanced topic, and you want to get started on the 5 baseline security processes first that we discussed previously. Do recall the cyber defense funnel, though, which suggests that you should be mediocre at prevention, detection, and handling security incidents rather than being great at any one of these. So once you have your 5 baseline processes implemented even on a rudimentary level, do take some time to start on threat modeling, which is our topic for today. Threat modeling and building a SOC more generally is a humbling topic because you'll never be done with it. It will always feel like an uphill battle, but even more reason to get started early. There are 4 mistakes that people commonly make when implementing a SOC first. They collect all the log files, thereby overloading their systems. They aim for hundreds of use cases, but don't implement any of them really well. They run 24/7 operations with an outsourced provider. So if any of those are true for you, then today we'll discuss an alternative approach that can help you get started a lot faster and detect real threats more effectively. When first implementing threat monitoring, we want to follow 3 general guidelines. Aim low. That is, implement a few use cases really well rather than many, even hundreds, without really understanding them. Optimize for signal to noise ratio. That is, only take in data that you really know you will need rather than over collecting and then being overwhelmed with data. Implement monitoring yourself before outsourcing any part of it. You need to be able to guide your vendor for them to be effective. To get your threat monitoring off the ground, let's discuss a simple blueprint to get started. You put together a team of sysadmins and pen testers. One sysadmin and one security tester should be enough to get you started. You don't need anything fancy like a data scientist. You don't need anybody with experience in security monitoring. Just somebody who knows how to configure systems and somebody who has a rudimentary understanding of how hacking attacks work. This team of 2 or more people will now iteratively go through 2 steps many times. Creating attacks and creating detection rules to find those attacks. First, you implement an attack using Nmap or Metasploit, anything you find on Twitter, some simple Python scripting. You pretend to be an attacker. You want to script it in such a way that you can run the attack over and over and over again as a baseline for your detection. So now you have attack activity happening in your network. Now you start crafting your detection rule. And again, you start with simple scripting. You look at available syslog information, for example, and run simple bash or Python scripts on it, just to be able to say, yes, we can distinguish the case where we are being attacked from the case when no attack happens. Once you've reached the point of effectively detecting your attacks, you move them in a test basket of detection rules that you know work, but you don't know whether they produce a lot of noise yet. So you run those for about 2 weeks and see if they trigger any false alerts on your networks. Each time you have a false alert, you reset that clock, you tweak the detection rule to exclude that specific false alert case, and you again start a 2-week timer. Ultimately, you'll have detection rules that have proven effective and efficient to detect relevant attacks. And these are the 3 criteria by which you choose your detection rules. You are aiming to detect attacks that are relevant, that is, they have been observed in actual hacking scenarios. You can effectively detect them using available data, and you're efficient in detecting them, that is, you don't produce a lot of false alerts. The threat monitoring task force team operates just in business hours. There's no need for 24/7 operations, and there won't be for a long time until you have a collection of attack vectors that are relevant, effective, and efficient, as well as a way of handling incidents 24/7. Until that's true, people are more productive during business hours. Let's briefly talk about technology stack. Often bringing up a SOC takes a long time because you're deploying some expensive data analysis tool first. That is not required to get you started. In fact, everything we've discussed so far can be done in Python, or if you prefer something a little bit more future-proof, a small Elasticsearch instance somewhere running in a virtual machine should suffice, because we're optimizing for signal-to-noise ratio. That is, we're not including much data that we are not actively processing. As for the actual data sources that you should be including, we'll discuss those in a separate video. To get you started, here are 3 data sources with excellent signal-to-noise ratio. Any kind of honey token has a brilliant signal-to-noise ratio, as do many Active Directory events, as do most EDR solutions, at least when deployed on servers. Once an EDR says something's wrong on the server, there's definitely reason to look into that. Let's remember our goal here. We want to be able to detect 80% of threat actors. Not 80% of the things they're going to do necessarily, but each threat actor is going to go through a number of hacking steps, and we want to be able to reliably detect at least one of those steps for 80% of threat actors. So even with a few dozen detection rules, you should be golden, as long as each of them work reliably and efficiently in your environment. If this was interesting to you, you also want to look at our discussion on the 5 security baseline processes that make sure that some attacks are being prevented and others are handled well to take off the pressure from security monitoring. You might also want to look at the cyber defense funnel, where we discuss why 80% detection is well enough to reach high hacking resilience. If you have any questions, feedback, or topics you'd like us to discuss in the future, let us know below. And until then, happy hacking.